Hi guys, and welcome back to The Mind of a Writer, where I'm going to be reviewing this book. If you can't quite see it, it is The Shining by Stephen King, which I got on the Kindle. This book was, and its movie, have been recommended to me by a lot of people. Sorry, got my notes. And yeah, that was my general overall impression of it. It did have a decent introduction, where they go in and explains the initial characters of the Torrance family, who are Jack Torrance, an ex-alcoholic, his wife Wendy, and their son Danny. Now Danny has a mysterious power, which he is told by a character named Dick Halloran is called Shining, or the Shine, which is basically a power to perceive beyond the normal, and he can kind of sense people's feelings and almost read minds, and he can communicate with Dick Halloran using his mind. And basically Jack, who had to leave his old job because he was a teacher and he hit one of his students, well, hit is a light term, he beat him to a pulp pretty much, is now being taken on as the caretaker of the Overlook Hotel in Colorado, I believe it is set in. And basically they go to the hotel. The hotel has a very dodgy past, and Danny can kind of see evidence of the dodgy past, and the hotel basically tries to have its way with the family, and it especially wants to get Jack and Danny. And that's basically the main story of it. Now, a big part of the story is from the boiler. Yeah, sorry, this review is very spoiler heavy. But yes, the biggest part is about the boiler, and it is foreshadowed too early and too often. They're always throughout the book going, oh, the boiler must be sorted twice a day, must be decompressed twice a day. And big surprise, the end of the book, what happens is because of the boiler. What basically happens is the hotel explodes. But yeah, so that I thought was foreshadowed too early, too often. You kind of knew something was going to happen with the boiler. There are a lot of flashbacks in the book as well. Some of them I think are completely unnecessary, as you see, and just kind of like, okay, why? Some of them are good, and they do show why people are the way they are, like the flashbacks to do with Jack getting fired from the school because he beat up George Hatfield, I believe the child's called in that. And there's a scene where it's shown that Jack, through his drunkenness, broke his son Danny's arm, and that is what convinced him to get on the wagon and to stop drinking. But some of the others, I can't remember them off the top of my head. It's like flashbacks from Wendy's point of view, flashbacks from pretty much everyone's point of view, which is kind of like, oh god, do you really need this? It's just padding out the story. And because of all that padding, maybe, it just takes far too long to get going. I mean, they get to the hotel and then nothing happens for ages. I mean, the Kindle has a percentage meter on the bottom which tells you how far through the book you are if you don't have a Kindle and you don't know. And I think it was about, I looked at it about 50% through, and I was just like, nothing's happening. I mean, the biggest thing that had happened was Danny had gotten stung by a wasp. You know? It's a thrilling horror ride there. And yeah, I can see where the horror in that bit is coming from, because the wasp nest was previously destroyed and then suddenly he's been stung by a wasp, but like, it should have happened earlier. They should have come to the hotel earlier. Shush, Xbox, shush. And sorry. And yeah, it just drags on far too long, and there are two bigger gaps between the horror elements. Now, my favourite horror element in it, which I think is done masterfully well when it is first introduced into it, I don't know if this is in the film or not, because I've not been able to find a clip, and if someone does have a clip, please send it to me, because I would love to see how they've done this bit, is the scene with the hedge animals. And it is done almost if you don't know whether they're moving or whether Jack is hallucinating, because it's done, and every time he kind of looks out the corner of his eye, the animals have moved very slightly, and they very, very slowly progress towards him. I mean, later on in the book they're just fully running around all over the place and attacking people, which is beyond stupid. The horror element is in the side where you don't know if... Phone! Shut up! Sorry. Where if you don't know if he's going mad or not. And it was masterfully done. That was one part that did creep me out. And now another part that a lot of people said creeped them out, but didn't creep me out, was the stuff to do with room 217, or in the film I think it's room 237, I'm not sure, with the body in the bathtub. That didn't bother me. The idea of it was good. It was very good. It just didn't bother me. It might be because I'm quite a hardcore horror fan, so it does take a lot in that respect. And then there's the ending confrontation. Now this book builds and builds and builds and builds towards the end, which everyone has probably seen the clip, at least from the film, of Jack Nicholson playing Jack beating down a door with an axe. Yeah, that's pretty much part of the end confrontation. In the book it lasts for about 10% of the book, if that. And it builds and builds and builds towards it, and it's just over far too quickly. There's pretty much nothing done with it. He just suddenly is possessed by the hotel, and then he just suddenly attacks everybody, and it's pretty much over. It's done so quickly. Oh, and he forgets to decompress the boiler, and the hotel goes boom. And another part of the ending I didn't like. I can understand why it was in there, but it was too contrived and too convenient for the characters. Is the guy who tells Danny about The Shining, Dick Halloran, who also has a slight amount of Shining, hears Danny calling for him in his mind from hundreds of miles away, and comes to the hotel, which is snowed in, oh god, I don't know how much snow it is, but a lot of snow. And he somehow gets to the hotel, fights a hedge lion, and comes and saves them. But yeah, the ending just felt rushed. It was over. The book is separated into 5 parts, and the main confrontation is just in, well, most of the stuff is just in the 5th part. The rest of it is just them wandering around the hotel being like, ooh, there's so many rumours about the hotel. Ooh, it's really spooky. Yeah, in the end I was very, very disappointed by The Shining. But that could be because I've heard so many good things about it in previous years from pretty much everybody about how much they loved it. Is, that could be why I was disappointed with it. But, let me know what you think. Did you like The Shining? Have you seen the movie and read the book? Is the movie better? Should I watch the movie just to see if it's any different? Because at the moment I'm not feeling compelled to watch it. I might watch it if it's on TV sometime, but I'm not going to run out and buy it. But yeah, let me know what you think. Out of 10 on a bookstore, I would give The Shining 4. It's not completely awful, but it is entirely disappointing. Okay, see you later guys, bye!